Hey guys, it's Paul from Ashen. It is New Comic Book Day for the week of June 20th, and we're going to get started right now. Well, I don't know why I can't... We get told the date, like, literally before we start filming, and it's like the last, month and a half, I just... Whatever, we're going to get started right now.
Alright guys, Tim from the comic book store in Capes and Scales, and I'm here to tell you about the trades that came out this week. First up, we've got 8 Million Ways to Die. It is a crime story from IDW. I don't know much more beyond that, but it looks kind of cool. We've got Batman, The Dark Prince Charming, 2 of 2. There was another hardcover that was part 1, so if you're missing that, order it and then get this one. We have Over the Garden Wall, which is a Cartoon Network show. I know a lot of people like it. I've never watched it. We got Hit Girl in Columbia, which is kind of a cool book. It's Millar. We've got Trinity Volume 2. I know Paul was enjoying Trinity. I've got Doctor Strange Volume 1, a new Volume 1. I'm very confused by all these Volume 1s, and I'm pretty sure we'll get another one soon because Doctor Strange is in space. We've got The Hard Place. I didn't check this out when it first came out. I was thumbing through it. It looks pretty good. We've got Detective Comics, still going strong. This is a more Batwoman story, right, at this point, Paul? Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've got Hellboy Omnibus Volume 2. The re-release of Hellboy in these big, thick, cheaper overall volumes is really nice. I've got Superman Zero Hour, if you long for the 90s, and a bunch of Zero issues that probably don't make a lot of sense. This one's for you. We've got Aquaman Tempest, because we do. We've got Mystic U, Zatanna story. We've got Justice League, still going strong. We have one of the weirdest books we've read in a long time, The Ice Cream Man from Image. And then maybe the coolest thing ever is the Zelda, Legend of Zelda Encyclopedia limited edition version, which is gold like the old cartridge and comes in this giant Nintendo casing. It's really sweet. I'm sure the book's good, but this presentation is top notch. And this will be going quick. This thing's sweet.
First up, we have Wayward, issue number 26. It's back! It's been gone for a while. This is the last arc. This is going to be setting up how this book is going to end. I don't know how long this arc is going to be. His arcs tend to be a little bit longer. So yeah, it's we are kind of setting up the last battle. The Japan forces are being manipulated by the yokai, and they have kill orders to kill all of Rory's friends as terrorists. And yeah, things are just going to go from bad to worse on these, and they are trying to find basically the end of the weave to rewrite history, or rewrite destiny as it matters. This is a good issue. Can't wait to see the rest of it.
Alright, my first book is Doctor Strange number 2. Remember I said he went into space? Still in space. It's Mark Waid. Mark Waid is normally pretty good. I wanted to follow up on this, and I gotta say, it actually got better. It focuses, at the end of the last issue, he was thrown into a prison on an alien world. He has lost his magical powers. He's trying to find things to reinvigorate it, so to speak. And he ends up in a jail cell with another prisoner. And between the two of them, they kind of get a weird plan to escape and try to find a specific magical artifact. Really good dialogue. I really like the way Waid writes Doctor Strange's inner monologue and does a couple callbacks. It got better. So if you were on the fence about Space Strange like I was, it got better. So it's worth checking out issue 3.
Next up, we have X-Men, issue number 30, and this is the variant edition because I like J. Scott Campbell art. It is the big day. Kitty Pryde and Colossus are going to get married, or do they? I don't know. It's one of those things. It was well written. I liked how it was going. You get to see a lot of some of the things that have come to this point. You get to see a lot of the opinions of a lot of the X-Men that are closest to this, including Illyana and Storm and others. It was a good issue. I really liked how it is. It was a very surprising ending. but it's definitely worth the read, especially if you're an X-Men fan. This is something you should be picking up because this is going to lead directly into a new series that's going to be starting very soon, and it's an ongoing. It's not going to be a mini-series or anything like that, so I'm curious to see how that one's going to end up.
Next up, this book was almost the pick of the week. That means all three of my books were pretty good. It was really close, because it was a lot of fun. It was Infinity Countdown Black Widow. Solo adventure of Black Widow in England. She meets up with Captain Britain's evil brother, who is doing horrible, horrible things, using magic in a very terrible way. She has one of the Infinity Stones. It is the Power Stone, and she's able to teleport. And it's a pretty interesting story. I don't want to give too much away, but she's learning the magical end of it. She's really not that happy that she got the stone because she knows all the trouble that comes with it. But you have a cool story involving some magic, tons of assassin, evil, shooting, stabbing, just everything you get with Black Widow. She murders a lot. This is no different. And it's a good, I believe it's one and done. Just her story's going to continue on in other books. That's the way the ending made it sound, that it would continue in other Infinity Countdown issues. So I believe it's a one-shot, but hey, if I'm wrong, oh well. But it was a lot of fun. If you like the character of Black Widow, she's done very well here.
And my pick of the week is actually a twofer. It is Amazing Spider-Man 801 and also Tony Stark Iron Man issue number 1. Why? It's because it is both Dan Slott's last issue of Spider-Man and also Tony Stark's first issue and also Dan Slott's first issue of Iron Man. Both are very similar, as they probably should have been, because it's Dan Slott's style. Iron Man is basically starting up a new team. There have been several break-ins, and he's trying to stop all these happenings. And then a typical Iron Man villain that hasn't been seen in a while comes in and kind of wrecks the party, and we have to resolve that issue. It's really good. I liked it. I don't know if I'm going to be reading it constantly because I did love Dan Slott's work on Spider-Man, but I'm definitely going to be checking out at least the first arc to see how things are going. It's off to a great start, and I really like it. Amazing Spider-Man 801 is the last issue of the Dan Slott era. As far as comics go, it's kind of unheard of in the Marvel DC area for one guy to be doing a comic for 10 years. But he managed to do it, and this was a one-off issue. If you haven't read anything prior to this, you can read this without any kind of problems. And it's kind of a tearjerker. Like, I kind of welled up towards the end because it is basically what Spider-Man's actions do to everyone around them, and how basically he may not be an Avenger, he may not save the world, but he tends to save worlds, as in like someone's world, a best friend, a father, a mother, a wife, things like that. And it was very touching, and it was definitely something worth reading. Even if you're not a Spider-Man fan, you should pick it up just because it is a piece of history. It is Dan Slott's last issue. If you are a Spider-Man fan, it's a huge one to pick up. And it's just one I really liked. It was definitely fun.
All right, and my pick of the week is Shanghai Red #1 from Image Comics. This book focuses on, it takes place in the olden days, and it focuses on some characters who have been shanghaied, and they are sold into slavery basically onto a ship, and when given the option to become free, they choose a different option. This book is very wordy, and I mean that in a good way. It explains a lot of what's going on. It goes into details on its characters. Red is actually the name of one of the characters. It is a woman who poses as a man in order to get better jobs, and that's kind of how she got in this situation in the first place. Kind of a confusing explanation, but just know this is very wordy in a good way. It has a lot of dialogue. I enjoyed learning so much about these characters. It gave you almost instantly more of a connection than you would typically get in a first issue. The art is really cool. I don't know who I could even compare it to. I'm not as familiar with the artist, but It's very cool visuals, and when things are kind of more violent and whatnot, it just looks really good. It's really well done, and I'm curious to see where this goes. All right, and that's it, and then we're done. We're not going to talk anymore, whatever. I'd like to thank everybody who clicked on the duck video. That was very nice of you. If you'd like to go back and actually click on my video, that'd be sweet. Because everybody just watched. I watched those ducks like 37 times. It was great. They're stuck in a pool, and then they're not stuck in a pool because some dude was like, "Hey, these ducks are stuck in a pool." It was a lot of fun. So, you're welcome for the ducks.